last week you said we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Today you're saying we're out of the tunnel, but the train is pretty battered. And you made this call to young people to consider nursing as a career, but you admit that it's going to take between 3 and 5 years to train more nurses. What does that say about the immediate future of our healthcare system? If there are more waves to come after Omicron, even if they're smaller or less severe waves, does that mean we should brace ourselves for more shutdowns because we've finally gotten out of this long tunnel, but the train is in pretty bad shape?
Okay. What I've tried to say is that when you look at the situation of the pandemic, it's getting better. But unfortunately, our healthcare network has full capacity. And it's not a new problem. It's a problem we have since many years. We inherited of this situation. Of course, there are some solutions that will be more long-term, like having more nurses that would study. So we've put in place bursaries to give some incentives. But we're also working on other ways to be more efficient. First, we've signed a very courageous new collective agreement with nurses last fall, where we have more flexibility to decentralize decision, put more incentives for people working on night shift or weekend shift, and people who would maybe like to work and come and work full time, because it's a problem that we have 40% of our nurses that are working part-time. We also have to give more autonomy in general to our people. We're also training right now thousands of people for administrative work and also for auxiliary nurses, so it will help the nurses concentrate on their main work. And we're working also with the GPs, with the family doctor, in order to transfer some of the work that is done right now in our hospital that be done in clinics. So there are many, many ways to increase the efficiency, to increase the capacity, but it will take some time. Some solutions are short term, but some others are medium term. But we cannot turn that overnight.
Further to what some of my colleagues had asked, a lot of business owners want to know what to expect, and it's very difficult to predict that, but they want to know if this sort of yo-yo strategy of opening and closing is going to continue going forward over the next year, 2 years. What do you say to these business owners?
But that's not our objective. Our objective is to stop playing with yo-yo, and I think that with the vaccination that is going well, it will give us a better way to make sure that we don't have yo-yo anymore. And we made sure also with public health, before announcing what we announced today, that it will be definitive, at least for a certain time, so that we won't have to review that in the short term. So we're trying to do so. I think we don't want in the future to restart closing. And I think it's important also to mention that when you talk about the economy, most of the companies are open right now. The economy in Quebec is performing better than in Ontario, in the rest of Canada, in United States. So the economy is going well in Quebec right now. Of course, it's tougher for restaurants, for theaters, places like that, but in general, we're doing good.
Mr. Legault, it's been asked a few times, but can you commit that this current lockdown that we're in, this closure that we're in, will it be the last time businesses will be forced to close? Or will this happen again? Could this happen again if there's another variant or if hospitalizations rise again next fall?
Like I said, we have to be humble. Nobody thought at the beginning of last December that we would have this fifth wave, very high wave like we had in the last weeks. So we have to be careful. So far, when you look at the projections for the next few weeks, it looks like the situation will improve. So, but long term, would there be a new variant? I don't know more than Dr. Boileau.
Who doesn't know it either. So it's very difficult to predict that. We know that there are possibilities of having some new variants, but those are carefully followed, and there are some running on in Europe right now. We're following them. But the best way to prevent it is to get vaccinated as a population. It will certainly prevent any other major situation, and we hope that we'll get there very soon.